I wanted to continue on with and get into agents a little bit, if that's okay. I love talking to Swissy about all things to do with AI. The craze right now is all about agents, but unlike NFTs, tokenization is a groundbreaking concept, right? Tokenization, everything will become tokenized, everything. But, in 2021, we saw the NFT hype cycle and then it died. And in this current cycle, we're seeing AI agents take off in a similar capacity. It's something you can invest in. There's a meme aspect to it, and it's the trenches are hyped, right? We'll put it that way. But I think that the gap between sort of NFTs taking off and now tokenizing the world, I think there's going to be a much smaller gap of time between sort of these first agent iterations that people are getting excited about and investing in and really impactful innovation in the realm of agents. I think it's just going to exponentially explode in the Web2 space. Companies are going to be developing agent products, agentic infrastructure, agentic systems. And I think that it's going to, Web3 developers are going to be looking to integrate these things or build these things and have them tie into some capacity with their blockchains or whatever. And so ICP, we've talked a lot about agents on ICP, but there's so many benefits to putting an agent on chain, having the data on chain, and having a tamper-proof environment for an agent to live in. It's a frontier technology. It's a frontier paradigm that's just going to change absolutely everything. And my opinion on what's important when thinking about agents is cybersecurity, number one, probably first and foremost. And there's probably also an aspect of governance as well with this stuff that eventually will happen. But security in particular, I think, is the number one area that governments, regulators, developers, institutional players are going to be thinking about with agent development. And I can't see an alternative paradigm to putting as much of the tech stack on chain, right? And ICP seems like the ideal fit for a lot of this stuff. Swissy, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think in terms of agents on chain, there's currently a lot of things in the space that are said to be on chain. There's certain chains, we won't name them, that repeatedly say things are on chain. But then in terms of having an LLM or having inference be on chain, absolutely not, unless it's on ICP. So that's where we're currently at, that we do have the inference that's on chain. Is it slow? Is it more costly? Yes. Is it tamper proof, unstoppable, and guaranteed to run? Yes. Eventually, will the cost go down and the speed go up? Yes. Will the unstoppable and transparent whatever go away? No. So we'll eventually have everything. So you'll be in an environment that is basically on par with maybe where we're at today in Web 2. Because Web 2 continue to advance, LLMs will get better, costs will go down. And now you have the advantages of a secure environment. But specifically on agents, in terms of DeFi NFT craze, probably 99% of NFTs are down or valueless now. 99% of agents will dissipate. Same thing. I think in terms of frameworks that people are building on, I think there's Griffane.com or griffain.com. Phenomenal in terms of end user products for, I want to trade this when it hits this price that we've seen Dom say a few times. They've built that out. You have AI16Z, and AI16Z is much more of this push towards open source AGI. And if you have open source AGI running an unstoppable and living within a canister, that's where you unlock this ability to have essentially AI that's living completely sovereign. It's not tied to somebody's local machine that they can just turn off whenever they want. It's not tied to AWS. It's not tied to these centralized servers. It's in a decentralized environment. I guess the NNS and everything can put an end to it. So there are still the safety measures, which are definitely needed where we're headed. But you have this essentially this AI, this agent that's guaranteed to run. So you have this agent that now is heavily incorporated into your own life. With AI 16Z, you can add these plugins. You can add these functionality to these agents that then go out and do more things. So they have personalities, you have connections, you start to collaborate with them, and now they can do things as well. So let's say you want to order a pizza. Right now, you got to think of places near you. Maybe you go to a website, maybe Google Maps or something, and you click on what's near you, and then you got to call, and then you got to check their menu. There's all these steps that you do as a user when you already knew you wanted pizza. You probably already knew what flavor you wanted. And in this case now, with the AI, with this plugin with AI 16Z, you can order Domino's. And eventually, yeah, probably you can order more pizzas. But just in terms of an example, now you have an agent that knows exactly what flavor you want, knows exactly the nearest Domino's pizza to you or whatever. And now it's like, hey, I'm pretty like maybe even in this space, you like quickly send a text or message or whatever. And you say like, hey, I'm pretty hungry. I'm thinking pizza. And it's like, oh, done. That's it. It's not, oh, let me leave this, go to this website, go to all these things. And this is a small thing, but think about flights, airlines, everything. And essentially what you do is that's a lot of data about you. There's a lot of data that you're sending these agents that if it's not in a secure environment, people can exploit. Same thing we've seen with Web2 environments. We know they exploit, but we don't necessarily look behind the curtain, because we don't really have other options. But Web3, the ethos of Web3 was supposed to get into this decentralization. And that's super important for these agents. So now let's say the data and all of this, you don't really know where it's going. And this agent is being hosted by AWS. AWS now controls pretty much your life when you get your pizza, if you get your pizza. But again, that's just pizza. What about a big flight home to see family, all these kind of guarantees that you want. And now you put it within the ICP environment that's in a smart contract that's guaranteed to run. You start to have these advantages that becoming incredibly important. And there's people working on it, people from AI 16Z. So again, AI 16Z founder and a lot of core contributors, what were they doing 4 or 5 years before AI 16Z? They were building on canisters on ICP.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were doing. They were in there for the tech, and now it's come full circle. And a few of them are building back. So that's, I think, Dreaming Lucid. So Dreaming Lucid, I think 22 on X. And then you have Dan McCoy. Absolutely brilliant individuals, brilliant people that are pushing for this decentralized data, this decentralized environment for AI living on chain. And the living part is important. It's not living with like dependency on a human. It's not living with dependency on closed source, like centralized systems. No, it's living in a decentralized world, fully sovereign. And that's, I think, potentially it'll be Beth AI. I don't want to speculate or anything, but Dreaming Lucid already produced one of these agents early on. So that might be the first one that we see living on chain through AI 16Z. And that's just that first step. And then you can build on top of it, build all these plugins, build all these connections within this deterministic, guaranteed to run smart contract environment.